Rexburg had an apartment that's not there all the time, and that he was going to move in with that person, which I figured was a man at the time.
And did he provide you the name of who he was going to move in with?
No, he didn't.
And you talked about that being after Tammy's memorial. Do you recall when her memorial was?
Yeah, it was the Wednesday after Tammy died. Can't remember exactly what date.
And do you recall that Tammy died on a Saturday?
Yes.
Did you attend her funeral?
Yes, we.
Okay, people, I'm using my cell phone. So it tells me it's not the internet, it's my blankety blank computer. So we do it this way. Hit the subscribe bell and all this. Let's get back to it.
It was the following Tuesday, which was the 22nd, I believe.
And do you recall where the funeral was?
Yes, in Springville, Utah.
Did anything strike you as odd about the timing of the funeral?
Yes, it seemed like things were way hurried fast. Going back to when Tammy died, when we were there, we asked him about the funeral, and we figured it was going to be a few more days than the following Tuesday. That seemed real odd, that like somebody had been thinking ahead of time.
Judge, I'm going to
at
object.
that.
Speculation.
You can continue.
That seemed real fast to have a funeral for your spouse that you were in love with. And so it just seemed real fast to us and odd.
And in attending the funeral, did you make any observations of Chad?
Yes, when we arrived there, we went in, and it was before it started, so we went in the viewing area. And Chad and his children are in there, along with relatives on both sides of the family. And he was standing by the casket, and he seemed okay, looked okay. We talked to him for a minute or two, and looked at Tammy in the casket, and we felt like we needed a closure with Tammy because we'd known her, and that he just seemed like he was in a hurry to get it over with, kind of like, I guess you might say.
And then we talked about when you got back, you went to his residence after the memorial. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you attend the memorial?
No, we did not.
And it's at that time that he let you know he was going to be moving out?
Yes.
Sometime after that, did you and your wife make contact with Chad?
Yes, I believe it's the following Saturday or somewhere in that area. We thought, well, maybe it'd be a good idea to run over and see how he's doing and take a pizza to him. So we gave him a call about 5:30 p.m. and he said, well, maybe I'll just hurry and come over and see you guys at your house. So like he didn't want us to come over to his place. So that's how we lined it up.
And did he in fact end up coming to your residence?
Yes, he got there about 6 o'clock.
And when he arrived at the residence, did you end up having a conversation with him?
Yes, he come in, and my wife had just got done making some cookies, so he sit down at the table, and we were kind of standing there just chatting, how he was doing. He wanted to know how we were doing, and then he seemed a little hesitant. He says, I need to tell you something. And he says, I have a girlfriend. And of course, we about fell on the floor, but, and he, I kind of felt like he was a little hesitant to tell us, and like he was going to have to prod him to say who it was. But then he said her name was Lori Vallow, and I thought to myself, I've heard that name before. And then I thought of a podcast that I'd heard her on.
Had you ever met Lori Vallow in person?
Not at that time.
And this occurred approximately a week or a little less than a week after Tammy was pronounced dead?
Yes, probably about a week and a half.
Did he end up telling you anything else about his girlfriend other than her name?
Yes, he said that that Tammy's mission was basically over with this earth life, and so his second half of his life was supposed to be with Lori, and that she was going to help him do his mission, and that she was beautiful and stuff like that.
And was Lori was not with him on that occasion, is that right?
No.
At some point, did you end up meeting Lori?
Yes, why Chad was still there. He says that Lori and her friends were going to be in the area, and that would we like to meet her? And we said, yes, we would. And so we worked in the Rexburg temple on Tuesdays. We had the night shift, and Chad said that him and her, or Lori, and a couple of her friends were going to be in the temple doing some work that afternoon, and that they'd try to meet us.
And did you in fact end up meeting them at the temple?
Yes.
So the first time you met Lori in person, she was at the temple with Chad?
Yes.
At a later time, do you recall Chad and Lori coming to your residence?
Yes, it was 2 or 3 days after that, I believe.
And when they came to your residence, did you end up having a conversation with them?
Yes.
Do you recall what they told you?
They, when they first...
People, that is wrong. You know, if you got a girlfriend, it shouldn't be brought up in this case. That's ground for appeal. In the appeal court, I throw that out. How do I know? It happened here in Indiana on a David Cam trial, if you all remember that. And his lawyer should object to it. But I guess he didn't. And if it tells you anything. Now the jury got in their head, oh, he had a girlfriend, he was cheating on her, and he's guilty of murder. That's exactly what they thinking of. That is grounds for appeal. So let's get back to it, people.
Men, they were real happy, excited, kind of like with each other. So we invited them in, come sit on the couch. They ended up sitting real close to each other, holding hands. And one thing we thought was strange, I seen Chad rubbing her leg, and I thought to myself, that's kind of odd. Your first wife has died within a week and a half, and you're carrying on kind of like a teenager sitting there that's first in love. So I thought it was odd.
Had you ever seen him act like that with Tammy?
No.
Do you recall them talking to you about their plans for a future together?
Yes, they said that they were going to eventually end up in Hawaii, and I guess Lori'd already lived over there, so they were going to go back to Hawaii and live permanently after they got things all wrapped up here.
Do you recall if they indicated their plan to be together?
Yes, they were planning on being together, eventually get married.
And do you recall if there was any conversation regarding Lori's former spouse?
Yes, while they were there, we asked them, the normal stuff you'd ask people when they come visit you the first time. Have you been married before? She said yes, she had. Her husband had died of a heart attack in December 2018 is what she told us.
Do you recall any conversations or statements made regarding Lori's daughter?
Yes, we asked her if she had any children. She said that she had had several. And Chad kind of popped up and said that she had a daughter that had just died. And so we didn't know what to think of that.
When Chad mentioned that Lori had a daughter that had just died, did Lori say anything different?
No, she didn't say anything.
Do you recall if
Okay, people, his faith, his religion is a Mormon. The old Mormons believe in more than one wife. If you know anything about the Mormon religion, you know what I'm talking about. But the jury will convict him on the count. He got a girlfriend a week and a half later. So put that out as that's not a reason to kill your wife. So let's get back to it.
either of them ever mentioned Lori having a minor son?
No, I can't recall anything of that.
And after that visit, do you recall them coming to your residence on another occasion?
Yes, they came back. What was it? Probably about the second week in November, I believe, 2019. After they had got married, and they kind of stopped in just to see us, and they wanted to show us all of their wedding pictures, which we thought was quite a few. And so then they talked about how they had planned a family trip with Chad's children, the ones that were here, and all of his children, to Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm around Thanksgiving time.
Did they ever mention taking Lori's children with them on that trip?
No.
And they shared with you their wedding photos?
Yes.
Did you learn when they had gotten married?
We was informed probably a week before that they had got married on the 5th of November.
In those wedding photos they shared with you, did you ever see a teenage girl?
No.
Ever see a minor boy?
Nope.
Did you see Alex Cox in those pictures?
No.
Have you met Melanie Gibb before?
Yes.
Did you see her in those pictures?
No.
Who was in the pictures?
Just Chad and Lori.
Did you ever have occasion to talk with Chad about how his kids felt about Lori?
Yes. When we would see him, he would already kind of bring it up himself that they were fine with Lori, that Tammy had appeared to him in spirit, I don't know, at least twice, and said that she was doing fine and that she understood the plan, that she was going to move on in the spirit world, and then that Chad's mission was to be married to Lori, and that his children were basically becoming fine with that thing, which seemed odd to us. But
And he specifically indicated Tammy had come to him in a vision or something,
yes,
and she'd indicated she was fine with everything.
yes.
After that visit around Thanksgiving, did Chad ever, or I think it was a little before Thanksgiving, did Chad ever return to your residence at a later time?
I can't say for sure, but it seems like it. There was about 3 different times.
And I think you said that your understanding was Chad and Lori's plan was to eventually move to Hawaii permanently.
Yes.
Did some additional visits happen before they moved?
Not that I can recall. The last time we seen him was before Thanksgiving.
And after they'd moved, at some point, did Chad end up coming to your residence?
Yes, he came to our residence after Lori was brought back to Rexburg. and after he got back into the area.
And do you recall why Chad came to your residence?
Yes, I remember that when he walked in the door, he says that the Christ had sent me here to ask you guys if you would be willing to put your home up for bond to get Tammy out of jail. Not Tammy, excuse me, Lori out of jail.
Did you end up agreeing to do that?
No. There's a lot more things that had to be figured out before that's going to happen.
And do you recall being present for a conversation regarding the statement Chad had previously made about Lori's daughter?
Yes.
And what do you recall hearing Chad say?
I remember him saying that she didn't really like him too much, and that so she would kind of stay away from him. She was like a typical college student.
And have you been to the Daybell residence before?
Yes.
Are there stairs somewhere in the residence?
There is one set that lead up to a room in the back part of the home.
I have no further questions.
All right. That'll conclude the direct. We can go ahead. Let's go ahead and begin with cross. I think, Mr. Pryor, where we're at. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gilbert.
Good afternoon.
So the last question the prosecutor asked you is about a part of the house that has stairs.
Yes.
You're familiar with the Daybell house, correct?
Yes.
The brick part of the house is a one-story building. Is that fair?
Correct.
And then on the back is an attached building that has some stairs, it's almost like an attached garage. Would that be fair?
Objection, Your Honor. Misstates the evidence. Counsel's testifying. Move to strike.
How would you describe that attached building?
The mechanical room in the bottom, storage room in the bottom, and then just a room up above it.
And to your knowledge, did anybody ever use that for sleeping quarters?
I believe Garth might have once in a while.
It wasn't used for anything else but storage. Would that be
Objection, Your Honor. Misstates the testimony. Move to strike.
Garth may have used it once. Is that correct? Or a couple
Objection, Your Honor. Misstates the testimony. Move to strike.
Sustained.
The attached building that you're talking about, who used the building?
It looked like the whole family used the building to me. They had a ham radio up there,
Okay.
set of drums.
And to your knowledge, was there ever a bedroom set up there?
There was a bed.
Okay. Was there ever a desk or any office furniture?
Not that I'd seen.
Computer?
Nope.
No kind of organized office up there?
No.
Okay. And do you know whether or not there was utilities available to that room up there?
I do not believe there was heat up there, so I don't think so, other than power.
Okay. All right. Now, you mentioned the name Melanie Gibb a couple of times. You recognized her through some sort of a podcast. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is that something that occasionally you would listen to one of her podcasts?
Yes.
And is she someone who is involved in anything, any organization attached to the LDS faith?
No, not that I'm aware of.
She does something. Are you familiar with the term preparing the people?
Yes.
And then she's involved in that organization.
To my knowledge, not really.
How do you, other than the podcast, how do you know Melanie Gibb?
When they had the Preparing the People conference up here in Caldwell, Idaho, over here, that in February 2019, we went over there and Chad introduced me to her.
Okay. Did you know Melanie Gibb from any other occasion?
I'd never met her, I just heard her.
And she spoke at that conference?
Yes, I believe so.
And on the subject of speaking at conferences, were you aware of Chad ever making statements at any of his conferences about Tammy's health or whether he has any predictions about her demise?
No, I never did hear him publicly say that in any of the conferences.
Okay, and did you have an occasion to attend these conferences somewhat regularly?
We attended 3 of them.
Okay, and the term avow came across as part of my research. Do you know what the term avow is?
Yes, it stands for the website. I can't remember what avow stands for now.
Okay, is it linked to this preparing the people stuff?
No,
It has.
it is a preparation website.
It is not, or it is.
It is.
It's a preparation website. And when we're talking about preparation, that's not necessarily anything that's inconsistent with the LDS faith, correct?
No,
I mean, there's no limitation through your faith saying you can't participate in this preparation stuff, right?
no,
And Chad was an active member in the LDS faith throughout the time you've known him, correct?
yes,
Okay. And the writing of these fiction books doesn't necessarily preclude him from being a part of his LDS faith. Is that fair?
no,
Okay. And he is entitled to his opinion as to how he would express what he believes versus what maybe someone else in the LDS faith would believe, correct?
correct.
Okay. You made mention of meeting at the temple and meeting Lori Vallow.
Yes.
I don't know the limitations of your faith, so that's why I'm asking this question. When you go to the temple, is there a limitation as to who's allowed to go to this temple?
Well, yes, you have to be basically an active member and have a temple recommend to get in the temple.
Okay, so what's a temple recommend?
That's where you go see your bishop, which is over the ward, and he asks you a set of questions to see if you're basically living the gospel.
Okay, so when you went to the temple, who you saw Lori Vallow there? Who else was there?
There was Melanie Boudreau, and I can't recall the other lady.
Okay. Now, are you aware if it was Lori Vallow who told Chad Daybell Tylee didn't like him?
No, it seemed like that's just what Chad said.
Okay. And you mentioned that Chad is a soft-spoken person.
Yes.
He's not a dynamic personality, is he?
No.
Somewhat shy,
It looks that way, yeah.
reserved.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you mentioned that the family was planning a trip to Knott's Berry Farm first you said Disneyland and Knott's Berry.
Heard both.
And this was in the second week of November, right?
Right.
That's when you met with Chad?
That's when they come over the second time to.
Okay, so it wasn't a secret that they were planning on going on a vacation with the family to Knott's Berry Farm. That wasn't any kind of a
I
secret,
don't
right?
believe so.
The common knowledge.
Yeah.
And that had been planned. You said the second week in November. Could we be more specific about the time or date, or you just don't remember?
I don't recall. I would say it was about a week after they got married.
Okay.
Him and Lori, that is.
So would it be fair to say that by the second week of November, there were already plans in place to go on this family vacation?
Well, I would think they probably had plans then.
Right.
Yes,
And when we say the second week of November, are we talking like the 14th of November?
possibly.
Okay. And Judge, if I could just have a minute.
You may.
Thank you, Your Honor. Oh, yeah. So when you spoke to Chad about the the circumstances surrounding Tammy's death. He mentioned to you that she had a coughing spell that night, right?
Correct.
And he mentioned to you that she had been vomiting.
Yes.
Did he say what she may have eaten that was causing her to vomit that night?
No.
Okay. And then there was some discussion about some sort of an embolism, or there was something with her head that went wrong. Is that fair?
He didn't say head, he just said embolism.
Okay. And then there was a discussion with Chad that when they discovered Tammy in the morning, that he called out to Garth. You recall that?
Yes.
And that's what he told you,
Yes,
right?
that's what he said.
And then he also told you that when he called out to Garth and Chad had to pick Tammy up off the floor and put her back into the bed. Is that what you're
That's the way I understood it.
Okay. Okay, Judge, I don't think I have anything else. Thank you.
All right. Blake, if you'd like to.
Mr. Gilbert, you were asked if preparing a people is attached to the LDS faith. Is that specifically attached to the LDS faith?
No.
And were some of the things Chad discussed beyond the standard LDS teachings?
You mean when he was speaking in them?
No, sorry, let me back up. When he would talk with you, were some of the things that he shared beyond the standard LDS beliefs?
Yes.
You were asked about getting a temple recommend. If someone disclosed they were having an affair, would they qualify for a temple recommend?
No.
And you were asked about Garth and Chad picking Tammy back up and putting her in bed, and you recall them telling you that?
Yes.
You were also told that Tammy died around 2 a.m., correct?
Yes.
And you were told she rolled out of bed several hours later?
Yes.
I have nothing further.
All right. Then that will conclude the testimony of Mr. Gilbert. Is the state intending to recall him at any point?
No, Your Honor, Mr. Gilbert can be excused.
Will he be called in the defense?
I won't be calling him, Judge. Thank you, sir.
All right. You're released from any subpoena. Thank you for appearing to testify. Ms. Blake, would you prefer to start a new witness at this time or have a mid-afternoon recess?
Your Honor, we'll leave it to the court's discretion. We have a couple of additional witnesses. If the court wants to take an afternoon break now, that's fine. I think we do have one witness that would be a little shorter as well if the court wants us to continue.
Let's take the recess at this time, and we'll continue on after that. So it's about 10 after. Let's try to come back on at 2:30, please.
All right, please. Cut it out. So I want to thank you all. Like I say, I don't know if it's my computer, StreamYard, or what that blankety blank it is. If it was the internet problem, it'd be right here on my cell phone and the TV. It's all Wi-Fi. So it's either my computer or StreamYard. So I want to thank you. Will I come back after the break? Probably not, because to me, I'm wasting my time. You know, I'm not getting the subscribers I thought I would by doing stuff like this. But I want to thank you all that has subscribed. I want to thank you old-time YouTubers for helping out. Just remember, where you started out, you didn't have any subscribers. They told you what to talk about to help you out. I'm open for any ideas. So I want to thank you all for helping me out. I'm tired. I done some cutting some grass with the push mower, which I ain't supposed to do. That's a no-no against my heart doctor rules. But I went around the trees, around the tars I got in my yard with the, from my flower beds and stuff like that. But I want to thank you all for your input. You all asked me to do stuff like that. I've done it, but I'm not getting the subscribers that you all said I would. You know, so I'm kind of upset about that. So I want to thank you all that contribute to my YouTube channel. You know, I'm kind of upset because I'm not doing any better. You know, I want to thank TV, Train to Beware, that got me on how to share. So I want to thank everybody out there, you and your countries and God. If you believe in God, if you don't, if your country don't allow you to do it, that's okay. I'm asking you all in those countries. I know some of you using StreamYard. I told you I got an HP computer, about 5 years old. It don't have a good graphics card in it. I done a video what 95% of the people told I need, but I ain't got $1,800. You know, I just don't have it. I'm kind of upset because I don't have the money. I'm trying my best, people. You know, but anybody can do a YouTube channel. Don't give up. Because people tells me the same thing. Don't give up, Tom. You be at the right place at the right time. So I want to thank you all very much for helping me out. Maybe the Chad Daybell murder case might be the wrong court hearing. If you know any other court hearings that nobody else is doing, I would appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. So I want to thank you. Will I do any live streaming Friday? Well, people, it's payday. I got to go pay my RMC bill. I got to get some, I call it horse pellets. You know, it smells like pine. It don't make your house smell like kitty cats if you like you do your regular cat litter. I got mine at Tractor Supply. If you can get it at Orchland or anything like that, I don't know. But you all had my post office box. You can send me canned cat food, cat treats, or signs like a sign says, #buckle up, it's the law. Anything like that if you want to help me out. I know you all watch What the Hells. They always get stuff in the mail at the post office box. It'd be nice if I could get something like that. Some of you helped me out to get a GoPro 12. Some of you helped me get the dash mount for my car where I could live stream. One of you got me a tripod. That's what my cell phone's sitting on. Where if I come up on an accident or anything like that, to make it a better video. So I want to thank you all very much for my patience. I also want to stress out because I'm not feeling good right now, because I'm kind of upset. And I'll probably have to take a nitro pill because I do have a little chest pains. I tried not to take them. I try to deal with the pain. Some people said, Tom, take those blankety blank pills. And I've always tell you, if you hear it, you see it, you report it. On child abuse, women getting abused, please report it. Let's stop that abuse from the kids and the women out there. I got a few women on my YouTube channel that has been abused. Thank God they talked to me about it. You know, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a doctor and police officer, anything like that. I got no degrees. So, you know, I'm asking you, I need 1,000 subscribers. I need 4,000 watch hours. I know some of you probably on the way home from work. I know you all watch it later. But I need more subscribers. Okay, well, I come live Friday night and Saturday. If I don't get 500 subscribers by Friday, I don't think I come live on Friday or Saturday. You know, I'm kind of upset. I do what you all asked me to do some court video. They said it'll help me out on subscribers. Where are those subscribers, people? I just don't know. Am I still doing something wrong? I want the DUI guy, Megan Fox the writer, the expert, the umbrella guy, MG Law, RD on the scene in Bakersfield, California, Kern County Crime Watchers in Bakersfield, California, White T-Shirt Media in Bakersfield, California. They're out driving around doing car wrecks and stuff like that. But I can't afford to do that. I don't have the gasoline to do it. I live on a budget. So I want to thank you all. I just don't feel good. I've been dizzy the last couple of days. So thank you all very much.